Welcome back to Horny and Afraid Plus, the only show that you listen to after listening to the other show if you want to listen to it. We have a pretty interesting lineup this week, with a few series not being in the magazine this week due to being off for, author-related reasons. All the more power to them. Please rest up. But without much preamble, let's hop right on into the fun times with 17th place, Roboco, at a 5 out of 10. We have a pretty simple Roboco chapter this week. Nothing wild or amazing. About average for what I've come to expect. Really all that we have going on here is Roboco and the gang find a coffee house run by a kid in their class's father. And it seems like business is not doing too well. So Roboco and Matsuo's order maid, Mako, go at it to try to help make up business. While Mako is doing an amazing job being cute and charming and angelic in all the best ways, Roboco's all like, damn, that dumb bitch, I want to be popular. And she keeps trying to be popular in the way that Mako's popular. It ain't working. Roboco is a fucking beast. She ain't gonna be doing that Mako shit. So instead, Roboco's like, I'm gonna play guitar. And then she plays guitar, and then it's a happy ever after for the chapter. The cafe makes good business. Yum. There were a few, references here and there, I think. Some kind of old-timey manga reference when Roboco was making up some kind of order, dumb stuff like the Baba Tea shit. You love to see it, and I love to move on to number 16, Maguchan, God of Destruction, at a 6 out of 10. Very similarly with Roboco, this Maguchan chapter is pretty much what we've come to expect from a Maguchan chapter. Not to say that it was bad in any way, just ordinary, really. Rudy is making a fun Maguchan-themed box lunch for a friend gathering where they're all making their own boxed lunches, whatever, cool stuff. But when she goes to school, Maguchan is like, alas, that dumb bitch forgot it. Now I have to take it to her. And the whole chapter is Maguchan crossing great distances, pushing himself to the limit just to try to deliver this to her. He comes across many challenges along the way, such as rain. And it's really interesting. By the time he gets the lunch to Rudy, it's pretty wrecked and shit. But she's like, damn, delicious anyway. Thank you, Maguchan. And Maguchan's like, the lesson I learned today is that appearances aren't always what matters. And that's the end of the chapter. Pretty straightforward stuff. Not really funny. Only mildly heartwarming because, I don't know, there's not much more Maguchan can do. The character, to come across as much more caring and understanding of human nature and all that. He pretty much gets most of it so far, so chapters like this don't really seem all that necessary to me. But with that being said, let's move on to 15th place with High School Family at a 6 out of 10. It's slightly upsetting to see that the gag manga of the magazine this week were all not too strong, although High School Family is always one of the best. This chapter, however, was pretty alright. It was just another chapter of Father Iatani's old coworker trying to save him from high school life. This time by trying to capture him in moments of being bullied by the cruel high schoolers. And he keeps snapping photographs of Mr. Iatani having a great time at school, joshing around with students, and he's like, clearly this is bullying. Funny stuff. I liked it. Didn't like it for an entire chapter, however. And that's kind of how I felt about this character in general. It's pretty straightforward with his jokes, and I don't know, it wasn't bad. I mean, 6 out of 10 is above 5, and 5 is a perfectly fine chapter. So it's not like I disliked it. I just kind of have grown to expect more from High School Family. So I guess I'm going to already be moving on to 14th place PPP at a 7 out of 10. But they talk about that on the podcast, you see. So let's talk about 13th place, Elusive Samurai out of 10. It's a 7 out of 10 is what I meant to say. I'm not going to fix it. Anyways, they talk about that too. So how about 12th place, Red Hood at a 7 out of 10. But oh my gosh, they even read that one. It's like they read the entire magazine. Anyway, 11th place, Ayakashi Triangle at a 7 out of 10. This chapter, we pick back up with the fight with Goroku, and oh boy is it crazy. After Goroku cut off Matsuri's wind magic, he goes up and uses a wind god art jutsu thingy to rub it in Matsuri's face. Not cool. And this whole fight is kind of just, back and forth. Matsuri trying to do literally anything, and Goroku just not letting it happen. And it's pretty fucking funny. But then suddenly, what's that? Suzu comes out of the blue and starts winning by using cool, skilled techniques and strategy. And Goroku's like, oh fuck, what's going on? Pretty crazy shit. And then Suzu's like, Matsuri saved me way too many times, and now it's my turn to do the saving, I guess. And everyone's like, oh my gosh, the female lead being useful? I did not foresee this happening. And Goroku's like, damn, that's pretty cool. I guess I'll leave now. Bye. And then we have Goroku going back to meet with Miss Ladyfingers. And she's like, oh, it seems like you didn't kill Matsuri. What's that all about? And Goroku's like, I don't want to taint my paintbrush with blood. And she's like, sure. Anyway, Hinojiki, go kill Matsuri. And that's the end of the chapter. I have to wonder what's going to come of this. I think this is specifically happening because Matsuri is powerless now for however long the story wants her to be powerless. So what's gonna happen? Hinojiki seems to have been being bullied a lot by Miss Ladyfingers, and maybe he'll join the team. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's gonna happen. Who's gonna help Matsuri? Is Matsuri gonna need help? All these questions and more are questions that I am asking. With that being said, I'm just gonna leave it here. I don't have much more to say, even though I feel bad about being at 11th place and only having 8.5 minutes speaking time. But there's not much you can do when the bottom is filled with gag manga and manga that you can't talk about on your show. So we're going to move right on up to 10th place. And speaking of shows that we can't talk about, we have Witch Watch at a 7 out of 10. And then we have in 9th place Mashal at a 7 out of 10. But then in 8th place, like a saving grace, we have a series I can actually talk about with Blue Box at a 7 out of 10. This chapter, well, there's a lot going on this chapter. We have that other boy from the last chapter who was quite rude but also sleepy, commenting on our boys' game, which they, after lots of effort and challenge and back and forth, they lose it, even though they were trying so gosh darn hard. Haru hits the birdie and it falls just out of bounds, unfortunately. But, what can you do? Haru has always had a hard time fighting against Hyodo, and this time I suppose is really no different. So they lose the match, even though, they lose that round, and then we cut away before we see the next 2 rounds go on through. So we don't know what happens until we see our boy is sad, or not sad really. He appears sad at first, but then it turns out he's just resting, and he made a note on the table that Chinatsu sees, and it says, "I'll definitely get my smashes in." And she's like, "Oh yeah, Taiki's not a sad boy. He is a happy boy who tries his best." So while he's sleeping, she writes, "And I'll definitely make my shots on the paper for him to see when he wakes up." And it's really cute and kind, and it makes him happy. So then we cut on over to the next day, where Haru's like, "Listen, Taiki, you can't be a dumb bitch. You have to fight me in the finals. So you're going to have to beat Kyoto somehow. It'll be crazy, but, do your best, I guess." And then Taiki's like, "All right, I'll go fight Kyoto." And then he immediately loses to Yusa from Sajikawa High. And it's like, what the fuck is going on here? I don't know. So, that's the chapter. Let's talk about it. What is going on? So far, Taiki lost almost all of his matches we've seen him play, which makes enough sense because he's a newbie and all that. But I'm having a hard time understanding how we're supposed to get our shonen levels of progression going on when he isn't winning any matches, especially when it's like, "Hey, you have to come face me in the finals," and he loses immediately. I don't know, because I think that means, I'm not a badminton expert, so the rules could be different. But it seems like that, he's just done. That's it for him in the tournament. Which would be weird, because I thought we were kind of going into a whole arc thing. And we skipped the entire match, which Blue Box likes to do, skip matches, which makes enough sense. It's not exactly a sports manga, it's more a romance manga, so I can see why they wouldn't want to harp on the details too much. But I don't know what's going to happen next, and I guess that was kind of the point, because we thought, hey, he's going to do his best and going out there, and then he's crushed immediately. I just don't know what good that could do for the story, but that's not really for me to know. That's for me to read on over on up into the future and find out what's going on. Maybe we'll get more from Chinatsu Senpai being herself and her game, because I think she had a game coming up too. So maybe we'll cut to her and see how she's doing. I think it'd actually be really cool if after this loss we had a whole chapter where we just don't get to see anything from Taiki, and it's like, what's going on with Taiki? We don't know. We're looking at and talking to Chinatsu. I don't know. I think that's really all I have to say on Blue Box this week. So let's jump up to number 7 out of 17, Undead Unluck, 8 out of 10. But we're not going to talk about it because they talk about, all that fun stuff. So, 6th place, we have Neru at an 8 out of 10. Okay, let's talk about Neru, our sword lad. Pretty cool chapter this week, unlike most of the chapters of Neru. Maybe things are actually starting to get a little bit better. This chapter we have sad little Neru boy. He's like, fuck, I can't fight nobody. No one wants to fight me. They're all a bunch of cowards. Man, that sucks. I'm sad. And then some big person chick, dude, honestly I'm not sure. It could be a dude. At first I thought it was chick, but now I'm thinking dude. Either way, this person is pretty cool. They're like, hey Neru, let's I can fight you. But then fucking Mr. other guy, friend, came up. What the fuck is his name? And I'm keeping all this in. It's Satomi. Mr. Satomi Lazybones. They're like, yo, Satomi, I want to fuck you in a physical fighting knife kind of way. I cut off my ear because your ear was cut off, and I thought it was sexy. Let's, you, me, and Neru, and my buddy, fucking fight 2-on-2, baby. Let's do it. Let's see who dies. And it's cool. So, Neru and, what the fuck, Satomi? I know I just said it. Satomi, I fucking did it. Cool. So, Satomi and Neru are walking, and Neru's like, so Satomi, why are you such a bitch about fighting? Are you always gonna be a bitch? And then he's like, I don't want to be a bitch, but I got too mad, and I felt like I could kill somebody, and I didn't like thinking about killing people, so I was like, no, thank you, fighting. And Neru's like, fuck, man, that's actually pretty cool. I'm proud of you for being the guy who can not kill people on command. And it's cool. And then it was like, do you want to be a bitch? And he's like, no, I don't want to be a bitch. Let's stop being bitches together. End of chapter. Really cool stuff. I guess Neru is cool when it has stuff it wants to say and things it wants to convey instead of just a boring sequence of events that are out of any old anime manga you've ever seen out there. So all in all, I'm pretty psyched to see where this gravy train is headed. That being said, I think it's time to talk about 5th place with One Piece at an 8 out of 10. Alright, we're going to do what I normally do with One Piece all the 4 times I've done it. And we're just going to talk about the chapter practically page by page, do a bit of a summarization / commentary, and at the very end we'll talk about what I think might mean for the future happenings and whatnot. So we open with Nekomamushi standing above the corpses of his prey, and he's like, fuck, man, the moon's out. That's pretty cool. How'd that happen? And then everyone, we get reaction shots of like, oh shit, what happened? Luffy and fucking Kaido split the sky. It was really cool. And now we have Yamato being like, ouch, fuck. But it's not really important. I shouldn't be going panel by panel. So we have more of Luffy yelling at Momo to stop being a dumb bitch. And Kaido's like, yo, dumb bitch, I'ma fucking whack you. But then Momo's like, nah, skirt, and leaves and flies away. And Luffy catches Kaido mid-chase, and he's like, fuck you, I'm going to be the one who is Pirate King. He doesn't say that, but it's implied. And he seems all happy about rematch with Kaido, wanting to whoop his ass. You know how Luffy is. He has boundless and endless energy for whatever reason, that's fine. And then we have a few pages of Momo and Yamato shooting the shit. Yamato's like, wow, you're kind of a bitch. And Momo's like, that's mean. And then she's like, oh, well, here's how you make clouds. And Momo's like, cool, thanks. But also, I'm still a bitch. And then Yamato goes on to explain to Momo that he has to save Onigashima because it's gonna fucking fall. And because Kaido is slipping up because he's weakening because Luffy is a god. So now Momo has to use the same power that Kaido used to put clouds under the capital to keep it from falling. And if he doesn't, then everyone will die. This is probably what Momo has been leading up to this entire arc. This is his big moment of saving his nation. Then everyone will be all like, oh, fuck, Momo's cool. Also an adult? That's weird. It's almost like Odin's back from the dead. Pretty cool stuff. And then we cut back to Luffy and Kaido for a sec, see that they're fighting, pretty cool. But then we go to the real meat, the real action of this last half of the chapter, with Zoro taking on King and just having a great time, despite, having his shit kicked in. But, as we know, with all masked characters, they eventually must go unmasked so we can see what's under their grill. And Zoro is chipping away at his mask, and it's pretty cool. He doesn't like that, though. He's like, fucking, I love my mask. Why would you do that to me, you shit for brain? Lots of mean words flying around. Get it? Because he flies? Fuck. And then we end the chapter with a nice big old clash between Zoro and King. Zoro gets another big old chunk out of the mask, and we can see a bit of blonde hair, I think, and some skin. So hey, that's interesting. What's going on here? What's he got going on? He's a weird alien dude. Weird species. No idea. So with that being said, it really seems like things are reaching the apex. Luffy and Kaido are having what will seemingly be their final fight. Momo's being set up for his final fight. And we have Zoro with King. All the matchups are being set. Queen isn't defeated yet, right? Yeah, we have Queen. I'm pretty sure Sanji's going to take care of Queen. Nothing too surprising there, taking care of the third in charge is Sanji's usual job. So that's really fun. Aside from that, I'm not entirely sure what will be going on specifically for the next few chapters. I was for a long time on the raid will fail train, like I mentioned before, and I really don't think that's. I'm pretty sure I don't think that's true, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. But fuck, I guess that's all I have to say about One Piece this week. Surprising, considering usually I bank on One Piece being the series that will allow me to extend the time of the video for however long I want it to be, so it's not depressingly short. Because, man, I mean, I know we still have Mission Yozakura Family and Sakamoto Days to talk about. Oops, that's a little bit of a spoiler there, but please forgive me. I don't know how much longer that can really take me. I mean, we got maybe we can get 4 minutes out of Yozakura Family, and I'd say maybe another 4 or 5 possibly if I'm lucky at a Sakamoto Days. That'll barely breach. I mean, if I'm lucky, it'll barely breach 30 minutes on here, and I kind of was hoping to be around 40 because the last couple have been around 40. And I think it's a respectable length for all the stuff I get to talk about, even though most of them can't even give me a full 3 minutes of shit to say. So whatever. With that being said, I suppose I will stop stalling for time and move on to number 4 with Mission Yozakura Family. Fun stuff going on here. This chapter is what the past few chapters, here and there, I mean, besides the filler chapters, this is what the last arc was leading up to. A confrontation with Kawashita. Taiyo and Kawashita talking yet again after their last scuffle. And it does not look like Kawashita is in a very good situation. He's kind of dying of flower exposure. And Taiyo's like, alright, listen, boy. Here is the brass tacks. Lady wants to die. And he's like, oh, I see how it is. No, okay, no, that's cool. That's fine. Taiyo, this power that we both have, this flower shit, is fucking whack. So whack, in fact, that I'm gonna die soon due to how whack it is. This shit, let me tell you, pretty fucked. Back in the day, it seems like Kawashita did some testing, fairly gruesome testing from the looks of it, on this originator of the flowers. But it seems like, she wanted it or she needed it. She is dying, or she can't die, technically. It's a whole thing. And she's like, damn, dude, this shit is whack. And he's like, yeah, it's kind of whack. With that being said, I think it's about time I tell you how to kill Tsubomi Yozakura, the flower lady. Let's beat this cursed blood. This, which is called the profuse blooming of 10,000 flowers. An old, ancient version of blooming, far more carnal and powerful, it seems. Although he had no idea how to use it on account of it, actually straight up killing him. And he also mentions, hey, your father-in-law also has this blood shit going on. So he definitely knows we're talking. Speaking of which, look, Dad's here now. Fucking what? Dad's here. And Ty was like, shit, I don't even hear Dad sneak up. He's a pervert. He doesn't say that. I'm sorry for lying to you, audience. Anyway, Kawashita's like, oh, hey, Dad. Even though you're not my dad, but I'm saying Dad because I don't know his name. So he's like, hey, Dad, what's going on? And Dad's like, listen, Kawashita, my boy, you can't be doing this. It's not time yet. He's not ready. And Tayo's like, who the fuck are you to tell me when I'm ready? I'll talk to you later, but right now I'm talking to my boy Kawashita. Please fuck off. And Dad's like, damn, son, you're pretty strong now. And then the rest of the family shows up, and it seems like we're just in confrontation now. Crazy shit happening here. Damn, I really did just summarize that chapter, but what else am I supposed to do? It's, we're just having cool shit happening here. Shit is moving way faster than I expected it to. We are now, I guess, at the apex of the arc all of a sudden. The arc that I didn't even know began yet. What's going to happen? What's happening here? Now, are they going to fight? Is he going to leave with leaving some cryptic information? It could go either way. I can't see us getting in some fight here because, it's one guy versus the entire family. And even if he could whip all their asses, which I'm not even saying he couldn't, I don't know. He's pretty strong. He's pretty mysterious. He can do whatever. Fuck, I burped. I'm sorry again, but I'm not going to go back and get rid of it because I'm lazy and also I'm high. And I just wanted to get this done, so don't bully me, is what I'm saying. Well, now that I'm trailing off, I feel like I probably have nothing else to say about this chapter besides reminding you all that Yozakura family is fucking sick as fuck, art's always amazing, and series is straight up hype. So get with it, America, and also other countries who are present. Fuck. Okay. Third place is My Hero Academia at an 8 out of 10. Second place is Jujutsu Kaisen at an 8 out of 10. And number 1 is the GOAT of all time, 2 weeks in a row, Sakamoto Days at a 9 out of 10. Sakamoto Days. Okay. So we pick up from where we left off with Shin being a fucking goat, looking into the future, beating the shit out of Axeman. Axeman can't even hit Shin. Shin is ultra instincting this shit, reading every possible move. And Axe Guy is like, how the fuck is he doing that? But in fact, he is not reading the future. What he's doing is something called reading their predetermined action or something. Basically, when you try to do something, let's see if I can explain this while I'm high, because I'm pretty sure I can't. But let's say you decide to punch your left arm. Even before you make the movement to punch with your left arm, your brain has readied the order to your arm to prepare for the action of punching. So before you consciously knew you were going to punch with your left arm, and before you wanted to punch with your left arm, your brain was already ready to do it. And Shinso, after this Axeman, his consciousness was overblown with just kill energy, just wanting to kill. He couldn't get any read on his conscious brain, which was really fucking him up. So he was forced to learn how to look deeper into consciousness to find these subconscious actions. So we can now read their movements before they know they're going to do it, which is really, really cool. When last chapter, Shin said I could see our future, I thought he might have awakened some weird extra part of his power, but really he didn't awaken anything in his power. He just listened more, and that's all on him. It was like a mental block for him, which in a way reminds me of My Villain Academia and My Hero, when the villains awakened newer parts of their quirks that were purely just caused by mental blocks. And I think that's a really cool way to look at powers. And it's just interesting to see that would show up in somewhere like Sakamoto Days, where superpowers aren't exactly everywhere. It's really just Shin. But yeah, he fucking kicks his ass and nearly leaves him in the dirt. But then, oh no, Axeman somehow managed to catch Shin, because Shin has been overexerting his power and he's too fucking stressed out. But then, on the page turn, Lou fucking yeets Axeman into the wall, and it is revealed that she is in her drunk form because she downed 200 proof ethanol to unlock her drunken fist technique, which is interesting because even though she's always been strong in her drunken fist technique, she was, either like really sad or too angry or willy-nilly happy drunk. And this is a new, more competent outright form that we haven't really gotten to see before. And it turns out Shin calls this one called the Drunken Triad mode, where she is just at full force. You're fucking with my family and I will kill you. So she's just fucking whomping him all over the place, being real cruel, stabbing him, like not giving a shit. He's like, please be merciful. And then she's like, fuck you. And he's like, oh shit, she's gonna kill me. So now she's chasing him down. It's wild. She's dunking him. It's insane. And there's Shin with the ladder. Double team. Fuck. Oh, fuck. Damn. Cool as shit. Fuck. I love Sakamoto Days. You have no idea how baller it is. Why are you not listening to it? Fuck. Reading it all the time. No stops. No cuts. No breaks. I don't care. Damn, Sakamoto Days. But about Lou's drunken fist form, I'm not sure how I feel about it, because with Shin, him unlocking his power had an emotional aspect to it. It had a mental fortitude aspect to it. He had to overcome some mental block of his own, and it was really cool to see him do it. Here, it's just Lou got really, really drunk, and she cares about her family, I guess, which is fine. But compared to the emotional impact of what Shin had going on, it's kind of, I don't know, underwhelming. I really hope Lou doesn't get left in the dust because the author doesn't know what to do with her. Because it really does seem like we have no idea what to do with her besides being a plot device to get us in contact with the Triad. Hopefully that gets resolved. I need like a good short, even like, I don't know, some short arc about her, with her at the forefront, her doing things. Just kind of see what she's about. Because right now, I really don't have any idea what she's about. She's kind of just some drunk Chinese chick who hangs around the store, which is fine. She's fun, she's cute, and strong and competent. All the cool things you want in characters, but I don't know, kind of boring. Hopefully that gets better at some point. Where could this arc be going, you ask me? Well, we just defeated Axe Boy, I think. I think he's pretty, yeah, he's defeated. The official box came up, says he's dead. Not dead, just defeated, but, dead's funnier. So they dealt with him. They're probably going to go back to Sakamoto and be like, hey, we took out the guy. Or maybe someone's going to show up at the same time to fuck with Sakamoto. We're going to have that happen. And then the two will convene and be like, yo, that was fucking crazy, right? Although it is Sakamoto Days, so it could be something entirely different. I really have no idea whatsoever. But with that being said, man, I say that a lot, don't I? I have no idea how else to transition besides saying with that being said. It's so simple, so quick to the point, so it cuts off and you're moving on. No preamble, no way you need to segue. It's great. but also it feels real stale. So, with that being said, I think that's going to wrap things up today. I don't have much more to talk about, and I got close enough to the 40-minute mark where I feel like this was successful as I wanted it to be. Can't wait for next week. We're going to have Dr. Stone and Black Clover back in the magazine. This week, it just, I felt lost without Dr. Stone, and I felt neutral without Black Clover. So, I don't know. Fuck. I'll see y'all next week. Have a nice night. Tip your waiters and your waitresses. Other things that people say. Okay, bye.